Okay, Court is on the record. We call the matter of Kenneth Wood versus Caitlin Belding, file number 23-19453, DC. Mr. Wood, if you could please unmute and let me know if you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
Miss Dewey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We're here today. There was a custody case filed. It also included an ex parte request. That ex parte was denied. The matter was then set before the front of the court and then scheduled for a evidentiary hearing to address the issues of custody, parenting time, and child support. It's my understanding there's never been any prior orders regarding those matters. Is that correct, Mr. Wood?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So then we will just jump right into the testimony unless the parties have an agreement. Is there any agreement that the parties have, or do we need to proceed with the hearing?
There's no agreement yet.
Okay. All right, sir. So since you are the plaintiff, we will start with you. Would you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is your chance then to provide your testimony in support of your position regarding custody. But let's start with that. What are you asking for in particular when it comes to the custody and parenting time in this case?
For her to be with me during school week. I want 50-50. I'm not trying to try to fight to take my kid away from her. I just want 50-50, but I would like to have her here during the school weeks.
Okay.
And like
So
holidays, we switch holidays and all that. That's, she gets her 1 year. We do that now. Like she got her for Thanksgiving, I get her for Thanksgiving and all that. I want all that to stay the same, but when she's in school, I would like for her to be here and her mom on the weekends.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, sir. Now you may begin your testimony regarding this matter and what you'd like to say to me in support of your case.
Yes. Ever since she's been with her boyfriend, she will not communicate with me. She always communicates with my girlfriend. I'm the father. Everything should be communicated with me first. She's failed to get her at doctor's appointments. I have record from the school of last year while she was in Caitlin's care. She has numerous absence of school. I got it all record. Because she couldn't get up or something happened where my kid did not get to school. And here, my daughter's on a schedule. We're on a eating schedule. Everything is scheduled. I think she does better in school when she's here. Another thing, I've paid for almost everything that has to do with doctors and stuff for my daughter. I just paid $3,000 for an expander in her mouth. I asked her mom to help me, and I found out her mom won't help me is because I never made her. She wasn't the decision making in her mouth, my daughter's mouth. Well, the dentist is the decision maker. I went with what the dentist said that my daughter needs to straighten her mouth out. So I went with it, and since I didn't involve her, she says she's not obligated to pay that payment. She don't take her to a doctor's appointment. I've taken her to every doctor's appointment. Most of them. She did a few years ago when she was married to Taylor. But now it's like she can't talk to me because of the boyfriend. She's not allowed to talk to me. She does talk to me here and there, but when I ask her questions, it comes back that she don't answer the questions I'm asking. It's always about something else. My daughter has come here wearing her underwear, her clothes. My daughter don't need to be walking in public wearing clothes that are oversized. And why would you let your daughter wear your used underwear? I've had to throw a couple of them away because I'm not washing them. Her hair's a mess, like she hasn't showered. And it's just, I'm in the safety of my daughter's. I want her to be clean. I want her to go to school every day. And it seems like when I put her in that care over there, it don't happen. And for my daughter to excel in life, there has to be some kind of structure. And all I'm asking is, like, during school, I don't want to change nothing. I'm not trying to get her from her. I'm not trying to keep her from her. But I think that she's more suitable with me instead of her mom. And that's what I'm going to go on. And that's what I'm going to fight tooth and nail until the end of this court date. I have proof on all. So,
All right. Well, the notice to this hearing indicated that if parties have any evidence they want to submit, that should be provided a week in advance. Have you submitted any exhibits to the court or to Ms.
no,
Dooley?
because I wouldn't have came here by myself because I want to get an attorney in this matter because I'm not a kind of person that can talk on my behalf because I'm not good at that. And I didn't really want to represent myself anyways. I thought this was the first step to getting a court date to go to court. Just like the other day when I was a witness in Taylor, he was in the courtroom. Why am I getting zoomed here? Because I got a bunch of witnesses.
We were here on October 4th. And that's when
Yes.
we said we asked if there's any agreements or if we needed a hearing date. We set the hearing. We indicated that hearing would be by Zoom. That notice then was mailed to the parties. That indicated the hearing was by Zoom, that there was a 3-hour evidentiary hearing was set for today. And if you wanted to present evidence, you needed to provide that in advance. So,
Right.
I guess
I'm still waiting on police reports too.
All right. Well, first
I do want to say.
Now you're saying you want adjournment. So I'm going to address your adjournment request first. I mean, you've made the adjournment request the day of the hearing and after you already provided some testimony. This matter, again, was set for a hearing back on October 4th with notice being sent. Looks like October 10th. So as the request to an adjournment, I'm going to deny that request at this time, but you can proceed. You can continue with your testimony, sir, regarding your matter.
Yes. I also want to say that she is in a relationship with an unstable man. When I left your courtroom 2 days ago, he and Caitlin and my daughter got into the van and he took his van with my daughter inside of it and ran into my truck and tried to push my truck into a parked car beside me. I had to call the police when I left your office the other day to have the police write out a report because I'm pressing charges because that's child endangerment for having my kid in the car while you're slamming into my truck. I don't want my daughter around him. He's threatened me. I just made a police report. I just called his PO today. His PO is going to have him come in and talk to him because I'm tired of the death threats. I'm tired every time when I go to do something matter with my daughter, he has to open his mouth. It's none of his business. He had to be removed from my daughter's school a month and a half ago because he wanted to be there thinking he has a right to tell me that that's his sister and he can be there when he wants. The cops had to show up there and remove him. He's dangerous. He needs help. He's unstable. And like I told the cops today, I've been calling numerous trying to get these reports because the cops haven't got back with me on the hit and run that I filed. What happens if he's already put his hands on her? I got proof of it, that he's choked her, he smacked her. What if he snaps and kills him? Who's going to be responsible for that? Are we going to have to wait till it's too late? I mean, I'm feared for my daughter being around my own son. He is a very menace to society right now. He is unstable. The cops had to come out of the courtroom the other day to tell him to shut his mouth numerous times, and then they had to call back up to keep an eye on him at the end of the hall. I don't want my daughter around him. He tells her to shut the fuck up, excuse my language, but he tells my daughter to, when he's mad at Caitlin, he talks to my daughter like an adult, and it's not right. And I don't know what I can do. I got a PPO on him. I mean, I don't know what else I can do to keep him away from my daughter. I got proof that he's unstable. And this is why I'm in court today against her, because until she leaves that guy, I'm going to be taking her to court every time I get a chance for my daughter's safety. I do not trust her around him. I don't. I got proof that he threatens everybody that he talks to that comes in contact with Caitlin Gibson. And if the
Is there any
police
more testimony?
reports don't do anything, I don't know what else I can do.
Any more testimony you want to provide, sir?
No, sir.
Do you have any documentation or any exhibits that you wish to provide?
I do have I don't have, it's on my phone, so I probably can't show it to you, but I do have the police report where he had to leave the school and they got a trespassing thing on him. I have text messages. I just don't have copies because I thought this was just going to be a hearing to get this all set up. So that was my misunderstanding. Because I would have had this attorney to take this matter over.
Well, do you not remember being in court last time? And did you not get a notice that says? Okay.
I understand the court proceedings, but I thought this is because I just filed for the custody that you had to go through a hearing first and then you're able to get set up to go further. That's what I was. I thought this was like a hearing to set a court date for the actual matter. So like I said, that was my misunderstanding.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
if I would have not,
we had that court date we had the court date where you're all right that there is always an initial hearing to set the matter for a hearing. So we had that hearing back on October 4th. And we said we were setting this for a 3-hour evidentiary hearing. And that's right on the court notice. So I think that's pretty clear that we were here today to take testimony and address these issues.
Right. And like I said, that was my misunderstanding and I'm taking all responsibility for that.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say as far as testimony?
No, thank you.
Ms. Dewey, do you have any questions for the police?
No, I do not.
All right. Mr. Wood, I do want to get some just general background information. When was the last time that you and Miss Dewey resided together?
Oh, God. 6-7 years.
Okay.
Or more. I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. After you separated, what has been the typical custody arrangement for your child?
We went through a mediation because we agreed on certain things. And at the time we went to mediation on the agreements, I was working a lot and I was a single father, so I didn't have a babysitter. So we agreed for Kylie to be at her mom's during the school week and me on the weekends. Well, that's all changed now. I have time to be here for my daughter during the week. And I do have a family. I got 2 other kids and another baby on the way. So I have the means to keep her here. So when we went to mitigation, that's what we agreed on at that time because of my situation. Now that I don't have to have a babysitter and I do work, but I still have somebody that is a stay-at-home mom and is here. I want it changed because like I said, I have proof of when she was in her custody last year, the school reports show that when she was at her mom's, there was tardies. Her mom don't like when her mom keeps her from school, she never calls the school because the school calls me and says, why your daughter ain't? So I have to excuse my daughter because she can't do it for some reason. And I tell her all the time, you have to call the school and let them know. If not, it's a tardy and it affects my daughter. So therefore, I think she should be here because she lives all the way in Mansalona. What happens if she can't get up in the morning and she's decided not to take Kylie to school? Guess what? My kid suffers because her mom don't want to get out of bed and take her to school. And it has happened like that.
All right. So back to my question. You said at one point she was primarily with mom during the school week, but at some point that changed. So did you guys start doing week on, week off at some point?
I think, no, this is the first year we've done the week off, week on during school. It's like in the summer, it's like 2 months on, or we were doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off in the summer, or sometimes we'll say 30 days or 30 days. The thing is if she takes an extra day, I get an extra day, and it worked out good. And it's always been good. But when she gets in a relationship, everything changes, and her boyfriends think they can change the way I'm in the picture, and it's not going to happen. Like when she was married to Taylor, I was the piece of shit dad, but I was the one always doing for my daughter. Now she's with my son. Now I'm another piece of shit dad, and I'm still the one doing everything for my daughter. I have a house. I have a full-time job I've been with for 14 years. I don't drop and date women and go live at their house. The only reason she has a house is because my son, grandpa, let them live in that house. I've been here 9
Let's
years in my house.
talk about those issues. So you said you've been at your house for how long?
I've been here almost 9 years, 8, 9 years in the same residence.
How many bedrooms? How many
It's
bedrooms?
3 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms.
And how many people live there?
There's 3 kids and 2 adults.
Does Kylie share a room or have her own room?
Kylie's had her own room since I've been single in this house. And she
And
still has,
employment, you
she's
said you've
had,
been-
yes, I've been with Apple Construction since 09.
Okay. Do you have any intent to move in the near future, or do you plan to stay in the area?
I'm staying in the area, but me and my fiance are going to be investing in getting a house this summer. It's just hard to find 4-bedroom houses right now on the market. On renting. So
All right. Anything else you'd like me to know, sir?
I just want the safety. I'm all about the safety of my daughter. That's all I got to say. And I'll
right,
fight
thank
tooth
you.
and nail. Yep, thank you.
Do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
At this time, no, because like I got all their names and numbers, but I didn't notify them that I had this today. So no, I'm unprepared.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Dewey, would you please raise your right hand?
Yep.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, please state your name for the record.
Caitlin Dewey.
All right, man, why don't you tell me what you are seeking as far as custody and parenting time?
Well, so I'm not trying to fight with Ken. Like, I want to do what Kylie wants to do. So if she wants to be at her dad's during the school weeks, like, I'm totally fine with that. Ken has never been a bad parent. So, like, I just want what's best for Kylie. She's old enough now to decide what she wants to do. Like, I would like to have her week on, week off, like we've been doing, because anytime Ken gets upset with me, like, he keeps her from me. The last time was for 41 days right before, like, we got our court, that first court hearing. He gave her back to me, but before that, I didn't have her for 41 days. Um, I just want to, like, just do the whole week on, week off, and if it happens where she wants to be there during the week, then that's fine with me too.
Okay. All right, so man, this is then your chance then to explain to me what's been going on and why you want to have the situation you are suggesting.
Okay. Just like I said, I'm not trying to bash Ken. Like, I'm not trying to look out like a bad parent or nothing. Like, he's been a good father to her, just like I've been a good mother. Like, I'd never sent her home in my underwear. I don't know why that's being said. I maybe kept Kylie from him once, like when we split up like years and years ago. But that's not in the best interest for Kylie to keep her from me. And every time he gets mad, that's what he does is keep her from me. And it's not healthy. And I have been, like you said in the past, I haven't been responsible. And I've been trying, like, I went through my divorce, and Kyler was with me before my divorce. And then that's another thing he brought up was last year. I didn't have her for school. He had her for school last year. But the last like few years, I asked him to take her because of me going through a divorce. I didn't have a place to live, and I was trying to get back on my feet. And then I thought we would come to some kind of agreement after I got back on my feet that I would get Kylie back like normal times. And then the tornado hit, and I lost literally all of our belongings. I was trying to like rebuild from scratch, and then we came here to live at Andrew's house. And I feel like I've changed a lot. Everybody's brought up that I'm still a drug user. I've been sober for almost a year now. I go to drug counseling classes. I go to I take drug tests. I don't even have to take them. Like I've been on probation. I'm already off of it, and I still take voluntary drug tests. Like,
Why were
and
you on probation?
I just want to what's best for Kylie. So if she decides that she wants to stay with her dad, that's totally fine with me.
And let's talk about some of the questions like I asked
Okay.
of Mr. Wood. So what is your current living situation?
So I live at Andrew's father's house. He does not live here. It's just me, Andrew, and my two daughters, Kylie and Allie.
All right, how long have you lived there?
Since before Andrew got, it's been a little over a year, almost 2 years now. So before Andrew got released last March, so the September before that is when I started living here.
What city are you in?
Me at Salona.
Does that create any issues with you getting Kylie to school in Gaylord?
No, because Allie, I get Allie week on, week off, and I take her to school every day when on my weeks.
She goes to Gaylord schools also?
Yes. And with my job, I work 2 jobs. They work around my schedule to where I can be able to take them to school. And when they're here, I don't work. I really work during the day while they're at school, so that way they're not here. Like I'm spending time with them.
What are your 2 jobs, man?
I work at Family Fair here in Mansalona, and then I work at Great Lakes Trim. It's a factory job in Williamsburg. When the girls are not here, I'm on the weeks off. I work 50 hours there a week.
And when is it, what's your testimony as to when the two of you, you and Mr. Wood, stopped living together?
Okay, so I know he got a little off, but I think it's been like 8 or because we split up when Kylie was 2 and she's going to be 11. So I think it's been about 9 years.
Okay, I was way off.
That's
And
okay.
since the breakup, what has the custody arrangement looked like?
Like I said before, like he said, he went through issues like I did. He was a single parent. So at first I had her for the first few years of her school years. Then he's had her for the last couple of years because I was going through a rough time going through my divorce. And now recently, as the last 2 months, we've been doing the week on, week off.
He raised some concerns with you, not taking her to doctor's appointments or dentist appointments or getting the appropriate care. Is that true or not true?
I have missed a couple in the past, yes, but recently, I've been taking her appointments. So I took her actually 3 already this week for her pneumonia.
What is your plan, housing wise in the future? Do you plan to stay at the residence you're at? Are you looking to move or make any changes?
We plan to stay here.
He made some comments about some testimony that she misses school when she's in your care. Is that true or not true?
Well, he said something about last year, but I didn't have her last year, so
So last school year, she was primarily with dad.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you like he said, if he wants another hearing where we have to show proof of stuff, we can do that.
How long has Andrew, have you lived with Andrew?
Yeah, I've been living with him since March.
Is there anything else that you wish to say, ma'am?
I'd actually like to bring up about the other day, just so Ken knows what happened. When we left the court, we went out to the parking lot, and Andrew was talking to his adopted dad, and they were kind of arguing, and Ken's brother Roy was in the truck and got out and started saying stuff to Andrew. So that's the only reason why Andrew they didn't even get into like an altercation. All Andrew did was go over to his door and shut it. And then we went to go pull out, and he had to pull little forks out of both the cars around the side. So we had to pull up forward a little bit and back out. We didn't hit I got a brand new vehicle. He did not hit his car. There's no marks on my car. I took pictures of the front of my car. Like I would not let him hit that truck in my brand new vehicle. And if there was so his truck is white and my Explorer is black. Like if there would have been hit, there would have been a big mark. And there's no white paint on my car, so I just wanted to explain that to him.
So you're saying that you were in the car and he did not hit the other car?
No, no. Even Kylie said that, and no, we didn't hit the car.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say, ma'am?
No, thank you.
All right. Mr. Wood, do you have any questions for this witness?
For her, no, because
Okay.
the pictures that the cops took of the tire tracks going into my truck don't lie, so they can argue that when I'm taking them, I'm pressing charges over that, so we'll be in court for that. That's all I got to say.
All right, Ms. Dewey, do you have any other people you wish to call as a witness?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wood, do you have any closing statement or argument you would like to make?
I just hope the court finds the best that's good for my child. That's all. I just hope the decisions are right and we're not here regretting it later.
Ms. Dewey, any closing argument or statement you would like to make?
Once again, I just like to say that Ken and his girlfriend have both been really good with my daughter, and I just want us to each have our own equal time. I just want what's best for Kylie. Whatever Kylie wants, that's what I'm best for Kylie.
When you've been doing the week on, week off, what day are you changing?
It's the same as Allie's. We do Friday to Friday.
All right. So where does Kylie go this Friday? With Dad?
She was with her dad. Yeah, she's with me right now.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And would you agree there's never been a prior order regarding custody of Kylie?
No, we just had a mediation. We pretty much have agreed on everything in the past. Just here, just we had, like I said, little bits here and there where he kept her from me, but we usually get over it. And
okay, thank you. All right, so the parties are before the court following a custody case that was filed by Mr. Wood, which also included an ex parte motion requesting custody. That ex parte motion was denied. The matter was then referred to the referee. We had a hearing on October 4th, wherein we set this matter for a evidentiary hearing today. The parties have had a chance to testify. Neither party has provided any written exhibits or other witnesses to testify in this matter. So the court is restricted to the decision based on what is on the record of this case today. Being that there is no prior order, there's not need to be a showing of proper cause or change of circumstances. The court does have to consider whether or not there's an established custodial environment with either one parent, both parents, or neither parent. The established custodial environment is the environment in which the child looks for guidance and support. The parties have testified that they have essentially shared custody since their separation. They've made some changes at times as to how that looked, whether it was week on, week off, or primarily with one parent during a school year. But they have clearly both been actively involved and shared time with the minor child. Therefore, there's an established custodial environment with both parents, which would mean in order to disrupt the established custodial environment, a party would have to show that there's clear and convincing evidence that would support a disruption of that established custodial environment. The court then looks to the best interest factors in this case. I will review those one by one. The first factor is the love, affection, and emotional ties that exist between the parties involved and the child. The parents really didn't get into much about their own relationship with the child in this matter and things that they do with and for the child. But based on the testimony, I think certainly they both have love and affection for the child. They've equally shared in responsibilities and time with the child. So I would find that factor is equal. The next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to give the child love, affection, and guidance, and to continue the education and raising of the child in his or her religion or creed. Again, the testimony is that they have both at different times been the primary parent during the school year. They both have provided for the child. There was some allegations of the child missing school while in mom's care last year, which is inconsistent because their mom says that she was primarily with dad, but either way, there was no documentary evidence provided to indicate there was any issue with attendance in either parent's care. I think both parties have the capacity and disposition to provide Kylie with these needs. Therefore, I'll find that this factor is equal. The next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to provide the child with food, clothing, and medical care. Dad has testified that mom has missed some appointments, but she's also taken the child to some appointments. Mom acknowledged that there was a time period where she did miss some appointments. That has changed recently. Both parties are employed and seem to be able to provide the child with necessities of food and clothing and make sure there's the ability to get medical care. Again, this factor does not look at necessarily which party does more than the other. It's just, do they have the capacity and disposition to provide these needs? And I think based on the testimony, they both do. I would find this factor is equal. The next factor is the length of time the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. Dad has had his residence for quite some time. He had a stable residence provided for the child in this matter throughout her life. Mom has had more moves than dad. Certainly, she has been at her current residence, though she indicated for a couple of years. There's been some changes in who resides at that residence, with Andrew Dewey now residing there since March. But she does plan to remain where she's at also. Dad has been at his residence longer, so I would find that this factor slightly favors the father, given the more stability in his living arrangement. The next factor is the permanence as a family unit of the existing or proposed custodial home or homes. Both parties indicate they plan to remain in the area, not make any major changes when it comes to moving. Both parties apparently have new relationships they are a part of, that are part of their family unit. I would find that this factor does not favor either party, and this factor is equal. The next factor is the moral fitness of the parties involved. This factor looks at whether or not there are any moral fitness issues that impact a party's ability to parent. Based on the testimony of the parties, neither party really presented any evidence regarding the moral fitness of the other party not being able to parent appropriately. Therefore, this fact. Next factor is the mental and physical health of the parties involved. Neither party indicated they have any concerns with their own health or the health of the other party. Therefore, there's no evidence to show that either party has a mental or physical health issue that impacts their ability to parent, so that factor is equal. Next factor is the home, school, and community record of the child. Again, as stated, Dad indicated there was some attendance issues in mom's care. Mom does dispute that. There is not any documents that support this matter either way, nor any documents that support the child struggling when with one parent over the other parent in school. So given the lack of evidence submitted, I would find this factor is equal. Next factor is the reasonable preference of the child. If the court considers the child to be of sufficient age to express a preference. I did meet with Kylie prior to this hearing. I do believe she is of sufficient age to express a preference, and her preference is taken into consideration in this decision. The next factor is the willingness and ability of each of the parties to facilitate and encourage a close and continuing parent-child relationship between the child and the other parent. Neither party really attacked the other parents for trying to disrupt their relationship with the child. Mom indicated there was a period of time where the child was withheld, but really there's no strong evidence to indicate that either party is trying to destroy the relationship that the child has with the other parent. Mom's testimony was that she, in fact, would actually, if the child indicated she wanted to stay with dad during the school year, she would likely allow that to happen. And the parties have functioned for a long time without an actual custody order, and they've continued to essentially share custody and make some changes along the way. So they both have allowed that relationship to continue to exist between the child and the other parent. So I would find that factor is equal. Last factor the court is to consider is domestic violence. There was no testimony of any domestic violence between the parties when together. Mr. Wood did indicate that there was some domestic violence between Ms. Belding and Mr. Dewey. However, there was no direct evidence of that provided or any documents or any non-hearsay testimony provided to support that. So I would find that factor is equal. When considering the sum of the best interest factors, and in particular how the parties have handled this matter since they've been separated for a long period of time, it is the court's recommendation that the parties share joint legal and joint physical custody, that the parties have a week on, week off parenting time schedule. The child is currently with mom, so dad's parenting time would begin on Friday, December 15th. Is there a time that the parties exchange the child, or how do you handle the Friday exchanges?
School.
Okay.
It's whoever,
So
I pick her up on my Friday and then Caitlin picks her up at school on the following Friday.
So during the school year, the party whose parenting time starts on a Friday will be in charge of picking up the child from school. In
Caitlin,
the
she
summer,
rides the bus here.
all right. In the summer, how do you handle the parenting time exchanges?
It's usually, we usually do, last summer, I think we did 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And like, she gets her for Mother's Day. I always get her for Father's Day. We usually switch, like, if she gets her 1 year for Halloween, I get her the next year. Christmas, it used to be Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, but I like to switch. I already talked to her about like switching it up where I get her Christmas Day 1 year and she gets her the next year, vice versa.
I think he was asked about the ride, Ken, for like his summers.
So we'll
Is that
start with summer. So Miss Dewey, do you want, he indicated you guys have been doing kind of a 2 week on, 2 week off. Is that something you're interested in, or something
In the
different?
summer, yeah, that's fine.
All right. So the parties will do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off in the summer. Would you exchange on Fridays still?
That's fine with me.
At what time on Fridays in the summer?
Ken, if it's okay with you, I always drop off or pick up Allie at 9 a.m. on Fridays. If there's no like school or in the summertime, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so 9 a.m. on Fridays in the summer. The parties will, so he indicated, Ms. Dewey, that you guys have kind of had your own holiday schedule. Are you okay with continuing to say that the two of you just share holidays as agreed, or do you want a set schedule?
We can do it as agreed. We've always been pretty good about the holidays together.
All right, so we'll say share holidays as agreed.
Yep. And he, like I said, he can have her for the Christmas because last year there was a big snowstorm and I had pretty much had her all Christmas.
There will be a child support recommendation prepared based on the custody arrangement and overnights. I don't know if the court has sent you those forms yet to fill out, the financial forms.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just had a question. When we split up, we always like I agreed to never to make him like pay child support or anything. Is there any way we can still do that?
There is a way, but step one will be we have to issue a child support recommendation, and then if the two of you look at that and want something different, you file an objection, and we would address that in court.
Okay.
Have you filed, Ms. Dewey, your financial information with the front of the court?
No, I have not.
All right. So if you have not filed that paperwork up front of the court, we can send you that paperwork again if they haven't sent it yet. And then I would just say the parties have to complete that financial paperwork within 21 days so a recommendation can be prepared.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give this recommendation interim effect, which means it would take place immediately. However, the parties do have the right to object to the recommendation if they want. That information will be provided in the paperwork that is sent to you. Do you have any questions, Mr. Wood?
No.
Right. Ms. Dewey, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you both for appearing. That does conclude this matter.